The airlock hissed. Nathan stepped inside. The spaceship was dark and cold. Silence hung heavy, suffocating. He switched on his helmet lamp, the beam cutting through the gloom. Dust motes danced in the artificial light. Nathan felt a shiver crawl down his spine. Something wasn't right. This vessel, adrift for decades, should have been a tomb of silence. Yet, Nathan could almost hear breathing. He shook his head, attributing it to the stress. He was alone. He had to be. He pushed deeper into the ship, his boots echoing on the metal floor. Every clang resonated in the silence, amplifying his unease. A low hum vibrated through the floor, the dying breath of a once powerful engine. Nathan pressed on, drawn deeper into the mystery. The corridor opened into what looked like a workshop. Tools lay scattered on the floor, as if dropped in haste. Wires snaked across the floor, a testament to unfinished work. Panic. That's what Nathan was seeing. He picked up a wrench, its metallic surface cold under his gloves. It was heavy, well used. Someone had been desperate to fix this ship. He examined the walls, noticing deep gouges in the metal. They weren't accidental. These were claw marks. Fear, primal and raw, emanated from these scratches. Nathan could almost feel the desperation of the crew, their struggle against an unknown enemy. He continued, a knot of dread tightening in his stomach. What had happened here? The main computer core was surprisingly intact. Nathan interfaced his suit with the system. The screen flickered, displaying a log in a language he didn't recognize. He activated the universal translator. The words that appeared sent chills down his spine. It's in my mind. Can't control. Must warn. The log abruptly ended. Nathan reread the lines, each word a hammer blow to his gut. This wasn't a simple malfunction. Something had happened to the crew, something sinister. He downloaded the entire log, his anxiety growing with each passing second. The air seemed to thicken, pressing down on him. He had to get out, had to warn someone. But warn them about what? A noise. Faint at first, then growing louder. A scraping metallic sound like something dragging itself across the ship's hull. Nathan spun around, his hand instinctively reaching for his sidearm. Hello? Is someone there? Silence. The only response was the hum of the dying engine. He was being paranoid. It was just the ship settling. But the scraping sound came again, closer this time. It seemed to be coming from the air vent above him. He aimed his gun at the vent, his heart pounding against his ribs. The metallic scraping grew louder, accompanied by a low, guttural growl. Fear, cold and paralyzing, gripped him. He was not alone. The vent cover clattered to the floor. A dark figure dropped down, landing silently. It was humanoid but impossibly thin. Its skin was like static on an old TV screen. Its eyes glowed with an eerie internal light. Nathan stumbled back, fear choking his words. The figure moved closer, its eyes boring into his. Nathan felt a searing pain in his head, his thoughts scattering like frightened birds. He tried to remember his mission, his name, but the figure's presence was overwhelming, pushing him towards oblivion. You will forget, a voice whispered in his mind, cold and ancient. You will be like us. Nathan clutched at his head, fighting to hold on to his sanity. He had to remember. He had to escape. The fate of humanity might depend on it. He grabbed the data core and ran.